2 Chronicles 16:8-9 says, "Were not the Ethiopians in Libim and the immense army with very many chariots and horsemen? Yet, because you relied on the Lord, he delivered them into your hand. For the eyes of the Lord moved and throughout the earth, and you may strongly support those whose heart is completely his. You have acted foolishly in this. Indeed, from now on, you will surely have wars." Now, if you're joining us in reading through this 90-day reading plan, today's reading is 2 Chronicles 16, and I encourage you to read that passage. Well, sometimes we as Christians begin trusting in our own PR. We seem to have grown and made the right decisions for some things in our life, and we think that sometimes we don't necessarily have to rely on God as much as before because we really have the system down. This is exactly what happened to Asa. He trusted his own skills and abilities rather than trusting in God. And then when he was called on it, he became very upset and jailed the prophet. It was kind of like he was saying, "Don't you tell me what to do. Who do you think you are in comparison to me?" When his 39th year of reigning over Judah, his feet became diseased, and there's only speculation as to what this disease was, but it was completely debilitating. And Asa obviously believed that there was a natural cause to the diseases and not a spiritual one. It says in verse 12 that he trusted in the physicians rather than God. That kind of gives you a clue as to the mindset during his later years of life. Now, we as Christians tend to have the same problem with the longer we walk with Christ. We think we've got it down so that we no longer have to be focused on what God has on a second-by-second basis. We think we can handle the small stuff and maybe even some of the bigger stuff without bothering God because we got this Christianity thing whipped. Nothing could be further from the truth. The longer we live in Christ, the more we should be trusting Christ because Satan will use our personalities and our pride to convince us that we know what we're doing, and that's when we will begin to trust ourselves and not trust in God. Now, I've been a believer for approximately 50 years. I've been a growing Christian for approximately 45 years. I recognize that God is taking me through many things, but I also recognize that I must trust Him more today than I did yesterday, because when I stop doing that, my pride can get the best of hold of me, and I can end up sinning.